Good morning, guys. Welcome back. So today is Friday. I don't know what the date is. I don't care what the date is. All I know is I have some things to do, and before I go do them, I'm gonna put a face on because it's basically the only day of the week that I have time to do that. And I like putting myself together because it's fun and I get to play with things that I've spent money on. So yeah. Two things that I'm going to be kind of showing off for the first time is my Jeffree Star lipstick in shade Leo. So I know that I'm going to be using this guy at the end once I get the rest of my face on. And something that I don't think I've tested like on my YouTube channel, and this is the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Pro Glow Foundation. It's super liquidy, it's got a nice little glow to it, light coverage. So I'm going to be testing that out today. It's been a very long time since I've tried it. Shade-wise, it's a tiny bit lighter than my natural skin, which I'm not going to be mad about because it is so light. I'll be curious to see how much of my freckles and tan still show through. You may hear my cat and dog fight a little bit, and by fight I mean playing. It's just that they're in here and they like to kind of pick on one another in a total friendly way. So if you're interested in seeing my product review of the L'Oreal Paris Infallible Pro Glow Foundation and to see what the finished look is for today's outfit of the day, then stay tuned. So as you know, with my face, I've got on my Tatcha water cream as well as my Tatcha hydrating spray. And now we're gonna go in with the L'Oreal Paris. I have no idea how much to use. I do find with these really liquidy ones, I tend to need a little bit more for the face coverage. And that is because of the fact that these beauty sponges soak a lot of it in. If it's like a creamier, what am I trying to say? If it's a creamier texture, then it's not so bad. So that's about as much as I have, and here we go. So I'm actually really pleasantly surprised at how well this just covered my entire face. That was like maybe 2 drops worth of foundation and I got it all on. What I can kind of tell right away is there is that faint glow, which I really like. Now some of that, excuse me, is going to be from the Tatcha products that I have on underneath, but that's also going to be from this foundation. It did a really good job of smoothing everything over, which I like. You can still see some of the discoloration and freckles that I have, but I'm not mad about that. Like, that's what I wanted for today. I wanted a light coverage. The only thing I'd say is I probably could have done a slightly darker shade, and that's only because it's my winter shade. I don't really go out that much in the summer, so it's not the end of the world. I'm gonna get my brows on. I'm not gonna bother filming that. I've done that in every video, so I'm just gonna turn this off, get these guys on, and then we'll work on the eyeballs. All right, nice and easy. Brows are on. It takes like 30 seconds because they're microbladed, so yay. I'm gonna be working with both my Blood Sugar and my Thirsty palette, and yeah, I know they're upside down on your side. For those of you who haven't seen these 2 palettes, oh my goodness, like so many beautiful pigments. I legit have no idea what I'm doing today in terms of my eye look. All I know is that I need a nice little base. So on the base of my eye, so all over my lid, I'm gonna go in with Parched, this guy right here. And when I go in, I cover my lid with like this neutral tone, so Parched. And it's just to kind of cover any discoloration I may have. So there is foundation on my lid from the Beauty Blender when I was putting it on, which evens it out to start with. option would be to do a primer for your eyelids. I would suggest doing that if you are planning on being in makeup for like a 12-hour day, or if you're going out at night and you want to do a crazy eye look. Because it's daytime, I'm just going to do a lighter look. No need for eye primer. Now I'm going to create my crease. I want to go in with a nice brown shade. I do want something a little bit darker today because I'm in black, and because I do have that brownish tone lipstick. So I'm going to start my crease with a drizzle from the Thirsty palette. This guy right here. Okay, now Jeffree makes really, really pigmented eyeshadows, so I'm just going to knock off any extra. And I may have knocked off too much. And I'm just going to go right up into the crease of my eye. Crease is made. Using the same brush, I'm just going to go in with Subtle. So it's a slightly lighter brown shade, and I'm just going to place it underneath the crease to blend it down into my lid a little bit. So for my outer corners, I would like to darken them. So we're talking about this area here and here. I'm going to use the same brush, and I'm going to pick Intravenous from my Blood Sugar palette. Okay, so this one is actually like a dark purpley brown, and I'm just going to create a darker outer crease for more depth. Loving that so far. I'm going to take my buffing brush and I'm just going to buff all the edges out. So what that means is I'm blending the colors, and I'm just doing tiny circular motions to bring it up into the brow bone. So it basically kind of blurs the lines between the pigments and the brow bone. So there's no harshness. Done. I have to pick a tone for the lid. Well, not that I have to, but I want to. I like to usually do a shimmer on my lid. Not something I used to be kind of into, but recently I really have been. My dog is snoring. She's the cutest thing in the world. I'm not really feeling any of these, to be honest. So I think for today, I'm just going to go in with a neutral tone. I'm going to go in with Sugar Cake, this guy right here, with my flat brush, and I'm just going to mute that area. So is a bit of a like pinkish pigment, if I'm not mistaken, in my sugar cane, and I'm okay with that. So I'm just gonna go and I'm gonna put that right onto the lid, right in this kind of open space where you don't see a lot of color or depth, right into the middle of the eye, keeping it nice and open. Love this little MAC brush. So same thing here. Just placing it onto the middle of the lid and down into the front of the eye. Okay, so it just shut off again. Let's try this for a third time. I'm gonna go in with my angled brush. I'm gonna use Drizzle, so that was this guy down here. We're just gonna line under the eye. Okay, so I started this video on my GoPro, but the SD card keeps failing even though it's basically empty. It keeps saying SD card error and then shutting off. So I got as far as to line under this eye. Now we're gonna line under that eye with a Drizzle. And then we're going to use the same colors that we used for my crease to blend it all out. Okay, so that's done. We're going to grab this guy right here. For the under eye, I'm gonna use Intravenous, which is what I had used to darken my crease, very, very lightly, and I'm just gonna blend out that same area. So basically from the middle of my eye outwards, we're gonna use Intravenous just to create a little bit more depth and shadow. Perfect, so I'm gonna go ahead and put some mascara on. I'll do that off camera. I don't think it's necessary that you guys see that because it takes me a little long. And then from there, we'll continue on with the rest of my face. So I apologize for the choppiness of this video due to my GoPro failing a couple of times, but hey, gotta love the iPhone for backup. All right, mascara is on. We're ready to move on to some bronzer, some blush, and some highlighter. For bronzer today, because I am doing sort of like this orangey, browny, pinky theme, I'm gonna go in with my Anastasia. So I find this one is a lot more warm toned than my other, what's my other one? Than my Too Faced. My Too Faced is quite cool toned. And for bronzer, for brush, I actually took one out and I'm not gonna use it. I'm going to use a nice fluffy brush today, just a cheapo. This isn't even like any name. Oh, Kit, I think it's from Walmart. I'm just gonna use this mirror. I realize I've never taken the plastic off of that. Cool. And for this bronzer, because it's so pigmented and it is a little bit more on that, we'll say orangier tone, I'm really gonna just work on the cheeks really softly and a slight amount onto my forehead, down my nose and onto my chin. So really, really light for today. Again, I really want to keep like a nice sort of highlighted look, soft, nothing crazy, where you could still see all of my cute little freckles. So that is literally it for bronzer. For blush today, I have this special, it's called Adobe Brick. It's a MAC blush, super pigmented, so I'm gonna go in with this highlight brush because it picks up like nothing. Actually, no, that's a lie. I'm gonna go in with my MAC one. This one picks up even less. You can see that's a lot of pigment, and there's no mirror on that. Whew, failure. Having my GoPro stop working like midway through my video has thrown me off, clearly. So we're gonna go in with this. Tiny little apples of the cheeks, tiny little bit, just to brighten it up. Droop. I usually, like, honestly, I don't even think I need blush in summer because I'm just hot and sweaty all the time, like just naturally flushed to the tits. So whatever. I'm going to take this end of my Kat Von D Shade and Light brush, and what I like to do with this is, just like my eyes, I'm going to buff around the area that I just put the bronzer and the blush. So essentially I'm just kind of blending it more into my skin so that it's less broken up. Yeah. Now, before I do highlighter, I am gonna put a touch of concealer under my eyes. I'm sure you're probably wondering like why I'm doing this last. I don't know, it's just kind of the mood I'm in today. Why not do it last? I'm not gonna be using a lot, just a tiny little bit, just right under my eye to brighten it. A little bit down the nose, and this is it. Like I don't want any crazy highlight today in terms of concealer. Like I don't want a ton of coverage. This is just as an extra highlight. It's like a little strip down the nose, and then tiny little bit under the eye. And this is just to brighten that area. So not really to fully cover, just to bring it out a tad. Okay, so very light, very tiny, a little bit of coverage. Great. So for my highlighter, we're gonna go with my Jeffree Star Cosmetics Summer Snow Cone. Ooh, my brain. So this guy, I love it. It's so gold, it's so beautiful. We're gonna go in with this guy here. Lots of pigment. And we're just gonna put that right on top of the area that I put my bronzer and highlighter, and hope that I look like a gold goddess, like liquid gold. Down that nose and onto that upper lip. Okay, so we go like right up here. When you put your lipstick on, it makes it pop more. Yeah, perfect. I want more, never enough. Once the sun hits this, it's like fucking crazy. Okay, all done with that. Lips are next, so I'm gonna go in with my Leo. Super excited for this. This is the first time I use it. I'm gonna go in a little bit light to start and then layer this shit on. So here we go. Oh my goodness, I love this color. This might be my new fall fave, even though it's gonna be like 40 degrees out today. Whatever. All right, lipstick is on. I'm gonna deal with whatever is happening on my head. I'm very excited to be getting this done next week because it's just like out of control. You guys might be surprised as to what I do with it. I love being red, but I think it's time for a change. So I'm gonna give this a little blow dry, maybe give it a straighten. Before I do that, I'm gonna spray on some setting spray. Which one do I have out today? Oil Control. Fair enough, I'm gonna be sweating. So we'll let this sit into my skin while I deal with my hair, and then I'll come back and show you the final look. All right guys, so this is the final look. I hope you like it. Nice and simple. It's a good little fall look, even though for me today it's like still summer. Not a huge fan, but nothing I can do to change that. So I'm gonna go do some errands, and I hope that you guys all have a lovely day. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe, share it with your friends, whatever the case may be. I have reactivated my Instagram that is for like makeup and fashion. So that one is called Snip Style MUA. It's older, a lot of my old stuff is on there. I kind of gave up on it when I got back into personal training, and now that I've been doing these, I'm like, I kind of want to get back into showing my makeup and my fashion a little bit more. So if you guys subscribe to that one on Instagram, that's really awesome. You can also follow my Snippertron, which is more workouts and my kind of lifestyle, so to speak. So yeah, thanks again guys, really appreciate all the love. Have an awesome weekend.